Today, we're digging into a really fascinating blueprint, a project that's designed to completely reshape a country's wine industry. We're talking about a new school, but this isn't just any school. It's set to transform Bolivian wine, literally from the ground up. Okay, let's get into it.
So let me just start with a big question for you. I mean, in a world that's so full of amazing French Bordeaux, Italian Chianti, California Cabs, what's the next frontier? Where is the next really exciting, unexpected wine region going to come from?
Well, the answer might actually surprise you. We're heading to South America, but forget about Chile or Argentina for a second. We're going way up, high into the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, where vineyards are sitting at these staggering altitudes, some of the highest in the entire world. And this is a place that's getting more and more important. It has just immense potential.
And all that potential? Well, that brings us right to our first point. Because when you have that kind of rapid growth, it creates a very specific and honestly, a very urgent problem. There's a real thirst for talent.
What's so interesting here is this classic mismatch, right? On the one hand, you've got this booming high-altitude wine scene that's starting to get international buzz. Wineries are growing, and there's this incredible opportunity for wine tourism. But, and it's a big but, there's a major roadblock. There just aren't enough local people with the skills to actually do the work. It's basically created a talent vacuum.
So, how do you fix a problem like that? Well, you don't just hope for the best. You have to build the solution from the ground up. And that brings us to the whole point of this, a brand new technical school in a town called Las Carreras, designed specifically to fill that exact gap. And listen, this isn't just some regular school. Its entire DNA is built around this one core idea, aprender haciendo, which basically means learning by doing. This means way less time just staring at a book and a whole lot more time with your hands in the dirt, in the lab, and in the winery. It's all about making sure every single piece of theory is immediately tied to a real-world, practical skill. And you can see this philosophy woven through their whole 3-year program. It's a really clear journey. Year 1, it's all about the why. Building that solid scientific foundation in biology, soil science, all that good stuff. Then year 2 is the how. That's when you get your hands dirty, mastering the day-to-day work of the vineyard and the winery. And then year 3 is all about leadership, learning how to manage, to innovate, and to think strategically. It's just a super logical progression from knowing to doing to leading. Okay, and this is where the curriculum gets really, really cool. See, the school isn't just trying to play catch-up. It's designed to leapfrog into the future. It's all about bridging that incredible gap from soil to software. Just get a load of this contrast. It perfectly shows you what they're trying to do. In the first year, students are deep into applied soil science, right? They're understanding that ancient, fundamental link between the earth and the grape, the very soul of what we call terroir. Now, fast forward to year 3, and they're studying AI and robotics, exploring how machine learning can spot diseases in the vines or how drones can monitor the health of the entire vineyard. I mean, this isn't just a broad education. It's a bridge that literally spans the entire history and the entire future of winemaking. And remember that whole learning by doing thing? Well, this is what it actually looks like. In a class on operational viticulture, you're not just reading about how to prune a vine, you're out in the vineyard doing intensive pruning practices. In sensory analysis, you're not memorizing flavor notes. You're doing blind tasting sessions to actually train your palate. And in advanced enology, you're not just learning theory. You are running your own experimental mini batches of wine. This is all about building muscle memory and intuition, not just cramming your head with facts. Okay, but let's get real for a minute. Pulling off a project this ambitious is never, ever easy. It's so important to look at the very real hurdles this school has to clear, the challenges waiting on the horizon. And the internal challenges are pretty significant. First off, you need a huge amount of money right up front for labs, equipment, and a winery. Then, you've got to find these super specialized teachers, people who are experts in both soil science and AI, and convince them to move to a pretty rural area. Plus, like any brand new school, it has to build its reputation from zero. And maybe the most ironic part, for a school teaching robotics, the spotty internet in the area could be a massive headache. And then there are all the things they can't control. The country's economy can be unpredictable, which affects everything from funding to how many students can afford to enroll. Climate change is, of course, a direct threat to any kind of farming, especially for a sensitive crop like grapes. And while the location is beautiful, being so remote could make it tough to attract students. And, there's always the threat of competition from more established programs in nearby countries. But even with all those very real challenges,
The potential upside here is just immense. If this school succeeds, it could do so much more than just train a few dozen people a year. It could literally reshape the entire future of Bolivian wine.
When you get right down to it, this school is designed to be an engine for the whole region. It would make Las Carreras a national center of excellence for anything wine-related. Its graduates would fuel the growth of wineries and tourism, and the school itself would become this hub, sharing new tech and new techniques with all the local producers. It's really about creating a whole sustainable ecosystem of talent that secures the industry's future.
Which really leaves us with one final kind of provocative thought. It's a huge undertaking, right? It's filled with risk, but also with just incredible promise. And it really makes you wonder, can one single well-designed school truly have the power to lift up an entire nation's identity and change its place on the world wine map? Only time will tell, but the blueprint is definitely there.